If everyone in the world copied your daily habits, would society evolve or collapse? Think about it. Your screen time, your diet, your honesty, your self-control. Are you building anything or just reacting? Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." Today I'll ask you 5 questions, not to shame you, but to expose you. Because if you're brave enough to look, the answers might change your life. We all have moments where we say we want more from life. More focus, more peace, more progress. But most days feel like survival. You wake up tired, scroll, rush, react, convince yourself you're doing your best. But then you get hit with a hard question, and you realize you've been living on autopilot. That's what this video is about. 5 questions that sound simple, but they're designed to expose your defaults. And every answer leads back to the same core truth. You already know what to do. You're just afraid to do it. Here is what most people think. The problem is they think they need better time management, a new routine, more motivation, more hacks. But that's not the real issue. The real issue is self-honesty. The reason you're stuck isn't because you're lazy. It's because you've been lying to yourself about what you value, what you're working toward, and how you actually spend your time. That's why these 5 questions are uncomfortable, because they cut through the noise. They don't care what you say you believe. They force you to confront what you're actually doing. And Marcus Aurelius, he was all about that kind of radical self-check. He didn't write his famous journal to impress anyone. He wrote it to keep himself accountable, because he knew you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. So let's go. Here's question 1. If everybody copied your daily habits, would society evolve or collapse? Be honest. If 8 billion people woke up tomorrow and lived exactly like you, would the world become more focused, creative, and kind? Or would we all be anxious, distracted, and drained? Here's the truth. Most of us don't even know what our habits are. We're too deep in them to see. Marcus Aurelius warned about this. He wrote, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." Let that hit. The real danger isn't messing up. It's drifting through life so passively that one day you wake up and realize you never actually lived. You just reacted. You chased comfort. You copied what was around you. So if your routines became everyone's routines, would the world be full of mindful, self-aware people or passive consumers waiting for instructions? Let me give you a real life example. A friend of mine, let's call him Jay, used to scroll Instagram. The moment he woke up, he'd tell himself, "I just need a minute to wake up." That minute turned into 45 emails, memes, news, texts, all hitting him before he brushed his teeth. Guess what kind of energy he carried into the rest of his day? Anxious, distracted, insecure. Then one morning, he tried something different. He woke up, took a walk, read 1 page of a book, and wrote down the top 3 things he wanted to do. Not just had to do. That one shift changed everything. Why? Because it put him back in control. Marcus said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." What do your thoughts look like when you start the day? Are you shaping your mind or letting your phone do it for you? Here's the punchline. You're either setting the tone for the world, or you're following one that someone else set for you. So start there, audit your day, and be honest, because when you change your habits, you don't just change your life, you raise the bar for everyone around you. And that's how society evolves. Another question is, If someone asked for proof that you're working toward your goals, what would you show them? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Don't go on discussing what a good person should be. Just be one. You say you want to build something, start a business, write a book, get healthy. Be present. Okay, show me. Open your calendar, open your browser history, open your notes app. What do I see? Is it research, reps, revisions, or just distractions? Here's the hard truth. If you can't prove it, you're probably not doing it. We love the idea of progress, but most of us are doing hope-based planning. We hope we'll get to it. We hope tomorrow we'll feel ready. We hope life slows down, but Marcus didn't believe in that. He said a man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions. Translation, you're not your potential. You're what you prioritize. For example, a friend told me she was writing a novel. I asked, "Cool. How many words have you written this week?" She said, "None, but I've been thinking about it a lot." That's not writing. That's pretending. Ask yourself right now, could you defend your dreams in court? Imagine you had to walk into a room and show receipts for everything you claim to care about. What would be in your folder? Would it be full or empty? You don't need perfection, but you need proof that you've shown up, proof that you've tried. Marcus again. You should do everything as if it were the last thing you were doing in your life. So here's your move. Pick one thing that matters to you, make it visible, schedule it, track it. Let people see that it's real, not for applause, but for alignment, because vague goals create vague lives, but visible effort, that creates movement. Do you know the difference between who you are and what you're performing? Here's the quote from Marcus that cuts deep. Be content with what you are and wish not change, nor dread your last day, nor long for it. We spend so much energy trying to appear solid that we forget how to be solid. You post the right takes, you say the right things, you signal your identity. But who are you when no one's watching? This is one of those questions I had to ask myself and hated the answer, because for a long time I confused attention with purpose. You might be wondering, isn't it normal to want to be seen, to share your progress, to build a brand? Sure. But the trap is when you start building for the response, not from conviction. Marcus Aurelius lived during a time when image was everything. He was a Roman emperor, the literal face of the empire, but listen to what he wrote in private. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. He was telling himself, don't let the outside world define you, because when your identity is built on validation, your peace is always rented. And guess who's the landlord? Everyone else. Real life example. I once knew a guy who ran an online community for productivity, talked about systems, goals, focus, but behind the scenes he was burnt out drinking too much and hadn't done any deep work. In months, when he finally opened up, he said, I don't even know who I am without this persona. That's terrifying, but it's also common. We confuse the role with the reality. What part of your life would fall apart if you stopped performing it? Would your friendships survive if you stopped being the funny one? Would your job still fit if you stopped pretending to care? Marcus reminds us the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. That means whatever you fake long enough, you eventually become. So here's the challenge, strip it back. No more performance, no more pretending to be more productive than you are. No more chasing applause for progress you haven't made. You don't have to brand yourself, you just have to build yourself. Clarity begins when the performance ends. If your current path continues exactly as it is, where do you end up? Most people never stop to ask this, not because they don't care, but because they're scared of the answer. It's easier to say, I'll fix it next year. It's harder to ask, what if I never do? Marcus Aurelius wrote, think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly. Let that settle. He's not being dark, he's being direct. You've already wasted enough time. The version of you that scrolls and avoids and delays, that version has run its course. So what's left? Not much, but enough to change your trajectory. Enough to build something small and real. Enough to live with intention instead of illusion, because the cost of ignoring these questions isn't abstract. It's your peace, your potential, your one shot at showing up honestly in your own life. Here are 5 simple questions that aren't really that simple. 1. If everyone copied your habits, would the world collapse or evolve? 2. If you had to prove you're working toward your goals, what would you show? 3. Do you know the difference between who you are and what you're performing for? If nothing changes, where do you end up? And now, here's the last one. What's stopping you from changing today? It's not lack of time. It's not lack of knowledge. It's comfort. It's distraction. It's fear dressed up as I'll figure it out later, Marcus said. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. So whatever's blocking you, use it. Turn the resistance into fuel. Turn the fear into a trigger to begin. Here's your move, just one thing. Pick one habit today that reflects the kind of person you say you want to be, and do it on purpose. Not big, not loud, just real. Maybe that means putting your phone in another room. Tonight, maybe it means writing one page. Maybe it means finally telling the truth to yourself or to someone else. Don't wait to become someone better. Be someone better by what you choose today. Because Marcus also said you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. So let me ask you, which of these 5 questions exposed something real for you? Drop your answer in the comments. Let's talk about it. If this video hit you somewhere honest, the next one will go deeper. So hit subscribe if you haven't. Turn on notifications so you don't miss it. And yeah, like this video if it made you pause. See you in the next one.